Okay, so now I've assembled my supplies for our chipboard keychain piece. Again, you can use this technique to make chipboard stickers or all kinds of other chipboard embellishments. It looks a little intimidating, but trust me, it's not as bad as you think. It goes really quickly. I'm going to be using a bird image from one of our new paper tray ink sets. The thing that I like about this set is it has a large image of a bird and a smaller image of a bird. So I think this opens up a world of possibilities and makes the set really versatile. We're going to use the larger one for our chipboard keychain today. As I said, I've assembled my supplies. I have my pieces of cardstock already cut. What you need is a piece of lightweight chipboard or coaster board. They usually sell these in groups for just a few dollars, and you can make so much with them. Or if you like to be green, you can recycle the cardboard that comes with the cardstock that you may purchase. So I have a piece already cut to 2 inches squared. I have what our bird is going to be stamped on, again 2 inches squared. And then I have my Bitty Dots chocolate chip polka dot paper, which I've colored to match my project using BVOO. I'm using an almost amethyst color for this project. Then all you need for getting started is some scissors, a file for sanding. This is just optional. You don't have to have a file. I got some of these little keychain toggles, I don't really know what you would call them, at Michael's. I have an eyelet, my eyelet setter, some zip dry, since that's what I'm going to adhere my layers with. I like to brush it on with a paintbrush because it goes nice and quick. And then I have, of course, my ink and a sponge. So now let's show you how quick this goes. I'm going to take my zip dry and whoops, it needs to be unclogged first. It dries really quick, and sometimes if you've been using it, you just need to unclog the top, as you can see. Now, I just put a little bit on, and then I take my sponge brush. You can get these at Michael's too for like 5 or 10 cents a piece. They're really cheap. You need to work fast. I'm going to just layer on my amethyst layer. Now, I like a good seal, so I will often take my rubber brayer and just give it a little rub. If you own a rubber brayer and never use it, well, there's one more use for it. Then I take a little bit more on the other side and my brush. Nice even coat. This does come off your fingers well. I just don't like to, get my fingers all messy. And again, I just take my brayer. And because this dries quick, we can get to work right away. So I turn it over, and I'm going to put my zip dry away, close it up because we don't want it to dry out. I'm going to take my bird image in my dark chocolate ink, and I'm going to ink it up. And then just stamp it onto my chipboard. As you can see, nice crisp image. The next thing I'm going to do before moving on is I'm going to put the eyelet into my bird, so that way I don't need to manipulate a small piece. That'll be a little bit easier for me to use a larger piece. So what I like to do is punch my hole. I'm using the smallest hole on my crocodile, and I am making this a bird eye because I want it to be, a cute keychain. So you can see I punched the hole for my bird eye. I insert my eyelet, and I'm just using an aged copper or brass eyelet, just like that. Now I'm going to lay it down. Oops. And I am going to use this tool that I got from Stampin' Up! Because I want the eye of my eyelet to be as open as possible so that this will fit through. If you use other methods of closing your eyelet, if you're using a standard size eyelet, that may not work. So I'm going to lightly tap, and then I just tap the back. Now, I didn't, actually I'm going to make my hole a little bit bigger. And I probably shouldn't be doing this on my score pile. Let's move it over to the counter. Whoops, my eyelet fell out. You can tell I was like a little nervous using my score pal. There we go. And tap the back. So there's what the back looks like all done. and let's give it a test. Make sure my string still fits through. It's before you go any, oh good, it still does. And it's on there nice. Okay, the next thing you want to do is just take your scissors and trim it out. Now I'm leaving a bit of a border around my image because I want, you know, some of the purple to be able to show through and just give a little bit of interest to my chipboard piece. It makes it just a little bit bigger, so we don't need a really tiny piece. Now it's always better to cut too much rather than not enough, because you can always go back and trim any excess. You can't take what you've cut away and put it back without starting over. So I'm cutting my chipboard. As you can see, it's really easy, very quick. Now I just want to trim some of the head away because I did leave a little bit too much there. But again, that's the beauty. Now I have a pretty even border around the entire thing. Now if you had some rough edges, this would be the time that you use your file because you want it to be nice and smooth and professional looking. As you can see in the back, because the way I had my scissors, it does take away some of the cardstock, but I think it just adds a little bit of interest to the back. We're going to distress it a little bit. And now what I want to do is just get my ink back. I'm going to dab my sponge in. I really like these sponges from Close to My Heart. They are perfect if you're sponging challenged, like I usually am, but they give you the perfect sponge every time. So I'm just distressing it a little bit. I don't want it too much because my project is a pretty clean looking project. So there we have our chipboard bird, and you just put your little keychain through, adhere it to your project, and you're done.